Hey, what's up? Facebook Live. We're going to wait till there's at least 1 or 2 people. My go-to is Robert Wallace. I'm going to vote Robert Wallace.
Christopher's sister. I'm going to say...
Aaron O'Brien.
I'm going to say Sheila. Sheila, Georgia.
Sheila, Georgia.
That's my guess.
Who's that? We got 5 o'clock peeps today. We're doing some technique.
Check the technique.
Check it before you wreck it. Right now you're probably saying to yourself, wow, these guys are live again?
For the 32nd time this week.
Already. Well, the good thing about these videos is we film in our library and you guys can have them and watch them forever. Wait for a couple more people to jump on. Who got?
Robin!
Robin.
Frank wins.
I win. Robin, you're my go-to every time.
He wins a McChicken from McDonald's.
Okay, we got Robin. We got Casey. What's up, Casey?
Casey.
All right. Susan Fox. All right, Joe. So let's talk squats. All right, guys. So today we're talking squats. A lot of interesting things about squats. Number one, what should they look like ultimately? If you have pain or mobility issues, some remedies around that. But ultimately, we're hoping to answer a lot of your questions and concerns on squats.
Yes.
So I'll start. I'll just show you a typical bodyweight squat, what it should look like. So, actually it doesn't matter, you have to see my heels. So look at me from the side. When I squat, what you don't want to do is come straight down. It's a motion where your butt goes out, knees go out, so you're really sitting back. If you don't watch my chest, it stays out, and my butt goes out. I'm not rounding, I'm not super arching.
And if you notice with Frank too, he's doing both at the exact same time. When he's coming back up, he's not hiking his hip first or bringing his chest up first. Everything is moving exactly the way it should.
So the goal is to ultimately master this body weight. If you notice, when we teach the squat, we always teach isos. And when we do the iso, we tell you to get down as low as you can, which is normally right about here.
Yep, right about 90 degrees.
We're going to call this 90 degrees. Now from here, we're looking for your body to accept it, to build stability before you gain strength.
Yes.
And then,
if you can't own that position, then you're not ready yet to add load.
Totally. Now, to Joe's point, what then happens is we master the body weight squat, we master the iso squat, and your body can accept that range of motion appropriately. Then we start adding load to get you stronger. What most of us do, including myself sometimes, is you'll take the kettlebell, and as the weight gets heavier, we'll start limiting our range.
Yep.
Or we'll start doing this stuff. This, which really isn't working my hips, my core, nothing. Or I start doing this.
Or your back starts to round.
Or this.
Yeah, you got bad posture. Yep.
So whether I am doing an iso squat, whether I'm doing a body weight squat, or I'm holding a kettlebell, it should all look the same through full range of motion. Now, Joe, why are half reps really not good?
You're not really getting that full elastic contraction and stretch throughout your quads, your hamstrings. If you are to come here, right, glutes, quads, hammies, they're basically working just that top portion. When you get all the way down here, you're putting them on stretch, and that's able to get stronger, accept that load, and then bounce back up. So half range, you're really not doing, literally half-assing it.
Literally. So if you think of like a squat, there's a lot of muscles involved, your quads, your hips, your core, your upper lower, all these muscles. But think of it just as if you're doing a bicep curl. Curl all the way up, curl all the way down through full range of motion. How effective do you think if I grab 2 100-pound dumbbells where I just went like this? Now, is my bicep really getting stronger? No. It's really the same thing as a squat where this, with less weight, full range of motion, building that elasticity and that stability through full range of motion is a hell of a lot better than grabbing a heavier weight and going like this. So the rule should always be control the weight through full range of motion, add the load, maintaining that range of motion in the integrity of that exercise. So when we're telling you to go lower or grab less weight, it's actually better for you.
Right.
It's always better for you.
And sometimes a quick thing about when we tell you to go low, sometimes if there's not a mirror around or a window, you can't really tell how far you're going down. So grab a chair or a bench or some steps, just so you know, you can kind of get that feeling of when you hit that 90, come right back up, okay? You just gotta touch and go. And,
Full range of motion.
Full range of motion. And for some people, this is maybe too low, but we always practice. We think everybody should be able to literally sit down in a chair and get back up. That's everyday life stuff. If you can't do that, we really have to work on it.
Yeah, I mean, clearly we all can sit on the toilet. We all can sit in a chair. That's what you're doing, I hope.
Right.
Unless you're just shitting yourself in the shower.
No toilet paper.
No one has toilet paper these days. Okay, so that's full range of motion. I think we get that. The asterisk is always, well, how about when I squat, Joe, my knees hurt. That's a huge one. I don't like doing squats. My knees hurt. Where should we start with that?
Well, we can start, honestly, if you lay on your back on the floor, Frank, want to go on your back?
Yeah. Well, we can just turn this sideways. Okay. You guys can see this. I'm not going to show my crotch to your faces. Okay.
All right, so if you get on your back on the floor and you bring your knees towards your chest and kind of pull them in.
With your toes, too.
With your toes, too. Now, if your knees come past your belt line, basically, up to your belly button, and you don't have any knee pain doing that,
It's not your knee.
it's not your knee.
Because I am squatting right now.
Yes, this is a squat, but you're just laying on your back. So he's squatting, laying on his back. Now, if you did have knee pain there could be a bunch of different things, and we'd probably tell you to go see somebody for that. But in this case, it could be your ankles. You could have a mobility issue, chances are. And to fix that, to remedy that, if you take 2 plates,
Let's go.
what's that? Okay. If you take 2 plates, guys.
So before we show this, I want to show you guys real quick what happens if I do have an ankle mobility issue. So let's just say when I get to a certain depth, my knees start hurting. So my ankles, they bend like this on the way up. So if my foot was on the ground, as my shin comes forward, it collapses. Now, if I have really tight calves, I don't foam roll my calves, I don't stretch them. When I start squatting, I'll hit a point where my ankle won't bend anymore. My knees still have to go somewhere, so they're gonna start going. I'll stop at my ankles, my knees will go in, they'll start going out, my butt will go up more. That's when your knees start feeling pain. So if it is an ankle mobility issue, here's how you test for it. You can go heels up, like if you're wearing a pair of high heels, and grab the weight. And you'll notice for a bunch of us, we've had you do this, as you squat, it becomes easier.
Way easier.
It takes that ankle mobility right out of it, so if you do have tight calves, you're still able to get the full integrity of the squat, the stability, range of motion, minus the ankles. Now, in a perfect world, we would say, roll your calves, stretch them until you gain enough mobility. That's not going to happen. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I would rather you just do this. So I can tell when we talk to you guys, when we tell you to do this sometimes, you kind of roll your eyes. Oh, it's not cheating. Right. It's just, you have tight calves.
And a lot of people we see that use this, that have used this in the past, no lie, you're probably getting, your knee doesn't hurt, first of all, and you're probably going at like 4 to 6 inches lower, which is like exactly what we want to do in the squat.
You're working the butt more. So what happens is this. If you did the test here on your back, when the knees came to your chest like you were squatting, no knee pain, and let's just say you went here, you squatted, and there was knee pain, chances are it's your hips. Yep. You have something going on with your hips, go see your PT, go see a massage therapist, chiropractor, whatever, go see a specialist. But if I were to do this test here, on my back, knees come up, I'm fine, I do this, and it's fine, and then it's your ankles, it's your ankles. So, we think everyone should be able to squat because we all do squat, but there are all these cool remedies around it, and when we give you a modification, take it. For some of us, I mean, I'll be honest, lately when I've been squatting, I use these plates every time when I start. At least the first couple sets, then I take them away. So for some of us who know that you have really tight calves, every single time, if you don't have plates at home, throw a couple books. You don't have a book, throw some extra tablets. Throw a rolled up towel. There's a lot of things you can do.
And this is actually a great thing to do. You guys have a lot of time on your hands right now, some of you guys. So to work on the squat in these times, in the morning, afternoon, night, just do a couple of perfect squats. I mean, it'll go a long way, a long way.
We always want to blame something for our squat, like I have bad knees, I have tight ankles, tight hips. Believe it or not, in our experience, most people don't squat well because they just don't know how to squat.
Yep.
They just have never really done it properly. And it's kind of hard never doing it to us saying, oh, by the way, give us 10 squats holding an 18-pound kettlebell. Well, my body doesn't even know what to do. The best way we found, it seems remedial, but it's very effective, is hold onto a chair, a wall, maybe a door hinge, and just get yourself into a squat like this. Teach your body how to do it. At least now you have the supportive use of your hands. Now, as you get better at this, start to just slowly let go. 1, 2, that's an iso hold. Okay, that was hard. Over time, you'll find that you can hold it longer, build more stability. Your body will accept this more. Then over time, we're looking for a good 30-second hold. Ultimately, if you can work your way up to a 30-second hold on an iso with full range of motion, that 90 degrees, you've hit the jackpot.
Yeah, you're golden. Absolutely golden.
Now, if you're holding, if you have a barbell on your back with 400 pounds, we're not having to iso anything. But body weight, if you can iso for 30 seconds, you're hitting a home run every time. If you're here and we're doing weighted isos, which we will have you do sometimes, the weight's going to be a lot lighter. So if you grab a heavier weight and you find yourself holding here, I mean, to be honest, you're getting nothing out of it. You may be training your ego, but your ego is the only one that cares. We want you to get stronger, but also your risk of injury goes up too.
Right.
If you're here, something's going to break. Neck, shoulder, back, full range, people.
Right. Also, for some people that are like hypermobile, that can get like super low and just like can hang out here forever. If you look at my back, it's kind of like, when I get too low, it's kind of like rounded, and that has some flexion in it, and when it's under load, that's also not like the best thing to do.
Not the best thing.
So you want to still like, be here, maintain there. If you get a little bit lower, you're going to start feeling a little bit of pain in your back, most likely. We don't want that.
We've always said, if you could get your ass to the grass, body weight, that's, in a perfect world, amazing. That's awesome. We can do it as babies, as kids. If you maintain that through adulthood, awesome. When you start strength training, anything right about 90 degrees is good enough. Now, if you have that super mobility, we would suggest that you rehearse it body weight and maintain it. But when it comes to actually holding load, 90 degrees all day, every single day.
That's plenty.
Plenty. You guys have any questions? Let me check to see what we got here. But that was a good little segment there, Joe.
Who do we got on here?
Okay, Cindy, what is up,
What
Cindy?
is up?
Cindy is my scientist. She's the Corona fighting ninja. Karen Gates.
Sheila.
Sheila, yeah.
I knew you would be on here, Sheila.
Katie Johnson, what's up? What's up? Susan Foxy Lady, mother of Vula. Robin, what's up? So guys, practice that squat. You can also, every human's different. If you read a textbook, they'll tell you, when you squat, feet are shoulder width apart, your feet have to be straight ahead. In a perfect world, maybe, but we're not perfect. Basically, everyone's hip architecture is different. Believe it or not, you can actually, based on your ancestors, your hip architecture is going to be different. So, for example, like if you're Irish, our Irish ancestors have narrow hips, where if you were like Bulgarian, you have really wide open hips. You can squat lower. So, shit, for me, a little bit outside of my hips with my toes out is better for me. If I was an NFL,
I'm an Irish guy.
Yeah.
And it's weird because me going wide, it actually bothers my hips a little bit. So when I squat, I actually squat a little bit narrower than most people, and it feels awesome. So.
Think about if you were, let's say if you were Keith is 6'4", he's probably not going to be necessarily a super narrow squat guy. He'll probably be a little wider than normal because he's so tall. It all depends. But when you find that optimal stance for you, we're hoping 90 degrees, chest out, full range, able to ISO there and own it for 30 seconds ultimately. What's the point of squatting heavy if we can't even master it body weight? It makes no sense. All right, guys, so that's all we got. If you can always check this later on YouTube. By the way, if you've been to our YouTube channel, that shit is blowing up. We have a library bigger than Encyclopedia Britannica.